Let's lock in. Did Karen's success against Boots prove he's not ready for Crawford? Terrence Crawford himself weighed in via tweet, and we're going to take a look at what Terrence Buck Crawford had to say about Jerome Boots in his performance in the rematch against Karen. So here's what Terrence Crawford said. He stated, at Jerron Ennis, I'm assuming he meant I did not see the fight, but I heard about it. Stay focused and keep working on your craft. Every night's not going to be the same. Never get too comfortable in this game. If you're trying to get to the mecca of the sport, stay on your mission because all it takes is one slip up. So that's what Terrence Crawford had to say to Jerome Boots Ennis. But I'm also going to focus on another tweet that he tweeted back in October. And so we're going to take a look at that because I think, he's been saying similar things. So here's what he tweeted. This is why you can't listen to these fans. They don't know boxing at all. Just because you never heard of a fighter doesn't mean he's a bum. Now everyone's high on Murtazayev. Y'all need to stop downing fighters just because y'all don't pay attention to them. So he was talking about that because Murtazayev beat Tim Tszyu, and he beat Tim Tszyu in impressive fashion, basically outclassed Tim Tszyu. So that's what he was referring to. So now getting to this, Terrence Crawford is offering him words of encouragement. And I think he's doing that because Terrence Buck Crawford has been in the same position. I remember his fight with Yurokis Gamboa. Gamboa buzzed Terrence Buck Crawford in that fight. When he fought the Mean Machine, I don't know why his actual name escapes me right now. But yeah, he fought the Mean Machine, and he actually got dropped in that fight. The referee didn't call it a drop. He didn't call it a knockdown, but video evidence clearly showed that it was a knockdown. So Bud Crawford didn't have the best of performances in those fights. So people used to use that as evidence that Earl Spence would beat Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, in the actual fight, Terrence Bud Crawford dominated Earl Spence, and it was just a straight wipeout. So again, I think Bud Crawford's coming from the perspective that you can't say someone's a bum just because you don't follow them and you don't know who they are. They may be better than you think. My only counter to what Bud Crawford is stating is people watched Jerron Boots Ennis beat this guy 12-0 in their first fight. So that's why people were reacting that way. It wasn't like this is someone that they'd never seen before. So that would be my only counter to that. But he's right in other instances, like where he was fighting his last fight. I can't remember the guy's name because it's similar to Murtazayev, but yeah, Madrimov was I think. But yeah, when he was fighting him, a lot of people were saying that he wasn't as good because it was a good competitive fight. But again, this man is a very talented fighter, gifted fighter. In his country, people knew who he was at the age of 15. So Israel Madrimov, I believe, is the name. Israel Madrimov. So yeah, like you can't just overlook fighters. So in Israel Madrimov's case, I think maybe people don't know how good he is because he just burst on the scene. He had under 12 fights at the time he fought Terrence Bud Crawford. So yeah, a lot of people don't know how good he is, but I don't think it's the same scenario with Karen because we saw Boots fight Karen and we saw Boots dominate Karen. And respectfully, he did worse in the rematch. I think he did worse because of the situation, but still, nonetheless, he did worse. So, yeah, that's my take on that. But I do think I respect the fact that, Terrence Bud Crawford has given him words of encouragement. So to answer the question straight up, did Karen's success against Boots prove he's not ready for Terrence Bud Crawford? Not necessarily. I just gave you scenarios of Terrence Bud Crawford struggling against other opponents, and then people use that to say that he wouldn't be able to compete with Earl Spence. Daniel Dubois comes to mind with Anthony Joshua. You saw Daniel Dubois. He got beat by Joe Joyce. He got stopped by Usyk. He struggled with Lorena, and he got in the ring with Anthony Joshua, and he cooked them. So boxing is boxing. You hear the old adage, style makes fights, and people like to, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. There's no better way to put it. Just because you were able to dominate one fighter or beat one fighter better than another fighter, it doesn't mean that when you step in the ring that your past victories and doing it better, it means you're going to win the fight. Manny Pacquiao did better against common opponents than Floyd Mayweather. When they stepped in the ring, Floyd Mayweather won, right? We talk about the triangle theory and how it doesn't work in boxing. You have Joe Joyce, who sparked out Joseph Parker. Then Joe Joyce fought Jang, and Jang sparked out Joe Joyce. And then Jang and Joseph Parker fought, and Joseph Parker was able to survive and beat Jang. You just never know. You must step in the ring. And that's why the best fight the best. That's why back in the days, a loss didn't ruin your career, because the best fought the best. And although you may have lost, you step in the ring with another good fighter and you immediately had a chance to revive your career, right? Joe Frazier beat Muhammad Ali. George Foreman beat Joe Frazier, and then Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman. That's the way it is in the sport of boxing. You know, styles make fights, and also situations. Again, someone who's fighting for their career is a very, very dangerous fighter, especially if they still have something left in the tank. And Karen was fighting for his career on that night, because Karen knew if he got dominated on a large scale, 120, 108 again, it probably would have reduced interest in him as a fighter, and it probably would have hurt his prospects moving forward. So, anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. It's Caden. I'm out. Peace.